Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 historical moments that didn't just change television, they changed the world.
I've been asked by the candidates to thank the American networks and the affiliated stations for providing time and facilities for this joint appearance.
Number 10, Lucille Ball's pregnancy. I Love Lucy.
Wait a minute. You don't suppose...
I don't suppose what?
You don't suppose you're going to have a baby? Oh, of course not. For heaven's sake.
Lucille Ball's wildly successful sitcom I Love Lucy made her a household name, guaranteeing her a place of honor in the entertainment industry. Being a successful woman in the 1950s wasn't an easy feat, but it did come with some perks. Ball was able to use her star power to push the envelope by incorporating her real-life pregnancy into her sitcom storyline.
Honey, no.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Why didn't you tell me?
Why, you didn't give me a chance.
Are you kidding?
No.
It's me!
Previously, pregnancy had been considered too taboo and intimately private to be shown on television. CBS approved the storyline with a stipulation that the word pregnant be replaced with the less risque expecting. It sounds ridiculous to us in the modern day, but Ball being able to continue working while pregnant was truly a revolutionary moment for women in entertainment.
Ricky, this is it.
This is
This is it.
Let's go!
Number 9, Jerry Jules' role, The Facts of Life.
A lot of people have wondered about my childhood. Well, I'll be honest with you. I grew up in a special education atmosphere with physically handicapped children. But what people don't realize is that we were the same as any other kids. We played baseball. Only we'd have all the wheelchairs on one team and all the walkers on the other team.
Jerry Juhl made television history in the 1980s when she appeared in a recurring role on The Facts of Life as Blair's cousin, Jerry Tyler. Born with cerebral palsy, Juhl was the first actor with a disability to have a recurring role on a TV series. For decades prior, characters with disabilities on television were played by actors without disability, giving the impression that there was no place for disabled actors on TV.
I'm looking for Blair Warner.
You must be her cousin Jerry.
Yes.
Well, I'm Mrs. Garrett. How do you do?
Hi.
She's on the phone. She'll be right back. Would you like to sit down?
Thanks anyway, but I sat all the way up here.
Juhl's appearance on one of the most popular and longest-running sitcoms was historic and inspirational. After her time on The Facts of Life, Juhl went on to become an activist and motivational speaker, advocating for people with disabilities.
People don't understand about cerebral palsy is that in order for me to function, my brain operates on several different tracks. It's not just one track.
Number 8, Beatlemania begins in the US, The Ed Sullivan Show.
And please, say to me, you let me hold your hand.
By 1964, the Beatles were already making waves across the pond, but their appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show launched them into the stratosphere. Their first appearance in front of an American audience was viewed by a record-breaking 73 million people. Beatlemania had officially begun.
You let me hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand.
More than a career-defining moment for the band, their performance marked a significant shift in music and American culture as a whole. From their music to their haircuts, the Beatles were something brand new that Americans couldn't get enough of, if the background noise of screaming fans didn't already clue you into that. A cultural shockwave, the Beatles changed music forever with this performance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Number 7, Ellen DeGeneres comes out. Ellen.
I just want to be happy.
And you think you can't have these things with a woman?
Well, society has a pretty big problem with it, you know? I mean, there are a lot of people out there who think people like me are sick.
Ellen's current reputation aside, nothing will change the fact that this was a trailblazing moment for the LGBTQIA+ community. DeGeneres, one of the most famous female comedians at the time, publicly came out as a lesbian to her therapist, Oprah Winfrey, in an infamous two-parter called The Puppy Episode.
Susan, I'm gay.
At the time, this was an incredibly controversial and risky move for DeGeneres and her sitcom. She faced intense backlash from anti-LGBTQIA+ groups and individuals, and her show was canceled the following year. Still, DeGeneres' brave move is credited with inspiring more LGBTQIA+ representation in television over the following years. Eventually, DeGeneres was able to reclaim her career with her popular talk show, The Ellen DeGeneres Show.
Well, thank you. It's September 8th. This is our very, very first show, and you are my very first audience.
Number 6. Roots.
There are other tribes. I've heard their word. The Wolof, the Fulani, the Sereri, and some I do not know. But I'm not alone.
Roots was a television miniseries that, over 8 straight nights, told the saga of one African-American family from colonial America through the aftermath of the Civil War. The miniseries was a brutally honest depiction of the horrors that slaves and freed African-Americans endured throughout American history.
Well, now, we'll have to give him a name. Let's see.
Do you fancy the classics, sir? 'Tis all the fashion here on the bay to have Psyches and Caesars and Hectors running about the place. A whole pantheon of nymphs and satyrs. A delightful conceit, sir.
I like good, plain, solid English names for my servants.
There was no sugarcoating. Roots was a realistic look at America's dark past and the strength enslaved communities had to demonstrate to endure it. Tens of millions of Americans watched Roots as it aired and empathized with the story it told. The miniseries proved that television could be a vehicle for serious stories that would produce a big impact.
For God giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom.
Is that you reading, Kizzy?
Uncle William, it was only a trick. Kizzy and I are making up this joke to play on Mammy Belle.
I forbid it.
Number 5. Michael Jackson's pivotal Super Bowl halftime show. Every year, football fans and the sports indifferent come together to watch the biggest stage in America, the Super Bowl halftime show. While today each halftime performance is massive and always draws one of music's biggest superstars, it wasn't always this way. In an effort to fight falling ratings, in 1993, the NFL decided to eschew the usual marching band and instead have Michael Jackson take the stage. Jackson's performance featured his most iconic songs and choreography, plus a healthy dose of his trademark showmanship. For the first time in Super Bowl history, viewership actually increased in the second half of the game. Thanks to the King of Pop, the halftime show would never be called boring again. Number 4. The first televised presidential debate.
I think it will depend in great measure upon what we do here in the United States, on the kind of society that we build, on the kind of strength that we maintain.
The popularity of television changed campaigning forever by bringing candidates right into voters' living rooms. And no event better signified this change than the televised Kennedy-Nixon debates of 1960. Suddenly, the way candidates looked mattered just as much as what they were saying, and Nixon wasn't looking too good.
I know what it means to be poor. I know what it means to see people who are unemployed. I know Senator Kennedy feels as deeply about these problems as I do. But our disagreement is not about the goals for America, but only about the means to reach those goals.
Nixon refused makeup and looked pale, sweaty, and nervous next to the tanned, cool, and confident Kennedy. Famously, television viewers walked away thinking Kennedy had won the debate, while radio listeners favored Nixon. Kennedy went on to win the election, an early indicator of the impact of television on political campaigns in the modern age.
What we must do as a society to meet our needs in this country and protect our security and help the cause of freedom.
Number 3. Television's most impactful kiss. Star Trek: The Original Series.
I'm thinking of all the times on the Enterprise when I was scared to death. And I would see you so busy at your command. And I would hear your voice from all parts of the ship. And my fears would fade.
In the 1968 Star Trek episode Plato's Stepchildren, Kirk and Uhura's kiss made history as the first scripted and televised kiss between an African American and a Caucasian. The kiss occurred just 1 year after the Supreme Court officially legalized interracial marriage nationwide.
I am not afraid.
According to William Shatner and Nichelle Nichols, broadcaster NBC wanted a more toned-down version of the kiss. In order to preserve the version they thought was best, Shatner and Nichols deliberately messed up other takes in which the kiss would be obscured or taken out entirely. NBC's fear of backlash was almost entirely unfounded. The general reaction to the kiss was positive. To viewers, the kiss represented a vision of the future in which hatred toward interracial relationships no longer existed.
From what I understand, NBC, of course, was nervous about it. I mean, we had seen before when Southern stations would cancel shows or not show them for something like that. And you kind of stuck to your guns and did the kiss.
Yes, I puckered up my lips and like that.
Number 2, the Vietnam War coverage.
It is a desolate hilltop collection of guns and bunkers looking north across the DMZ into North Vietnam. Its crucial importance lies in the fact that it's on a main infiltration route into the South.
While World War II news coverage was highly controlled by the U.S. government to help keep morale high, the spread of television and TV news meant the Vietnam War was covered very differently. The fight for ratings encouraged news broadcasters to find the most exciting and shocking stories to report, and news from the front lines made for highly rated television.
What happened to your squad? They was hit. Most of them was hit by shrapnel, and there was medevac.
Well, tell me, you came here at full strength?
I had 13 men when I came.
And it's 4 days later now, and how many are still here?
6.
I think we're just occupying ground and losing too many men. I'm losing too many men.
For the first time, Americans at home saw the brutal reality of war and the horrors that American soldiers were both enduring and participating in. This sparked a massive anti-war movement from groups against what they considered an unjust, unnecessary conflict. Ultimately, television coverage of the Vietnam War and resulting protests led to the end of U.S. involvement in the war.
And across the United States, the division between hawks and doves became more pronounced and sometimes more violent.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, the moon landing.
Neil, this is Houston, loud and clear. Break, buzz.
Never before had so many people been attuned to one event at one time.
When bitterly feuding superpowers can't physically attack each other without causing an all-out nuclear war, they find other ways to compete. The US and the USSR created the most competitive science fair in the world with the space race, as each superpower poured endless funding and manpower into creating achievements in space exploration. The USSR might have beaten the US in sending the first man into space, but the US wanted to take it several steps further by putting a man on the moon. 8 years after this goal was set, they made it happen, and televised the whole thing.
And the world waited. July 20th, 1969.
Television coverage of the moon landing was watched by 20% of the world's population, becoming a significant cultural landmark for an entire generation.
I want to tell you, I had the biggest thrill I've ever experienced. I was just waiting for that moment, you know, and I thought this was tremendous. This is something that, well, it's so new that we don't know the immensity of it.
Which groundbreaking, iconic TV moments did we miss? Let us know in the comments.
When are you going to see her next?
Tomorrow.
Great. And what are you guys going to kiss and hug? Talk about your deep connection?
I don't know.
Why don't you just say no?
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.